Katowice. I'm standing in front of the Mercedes, and I found myself two girls that I'm sure you've seen before, or rather, you've seen their signs before, because these ladies have been very active. Nina, Carolina, and I want to first, Nina, say that this sign is, I mean, it's really good. But I also, all the ladies out there will recognize this. What did you do? What did you do? Tell us.
Well, we didn't find a marker, so I used my lipstick.
But that's not a cheap lipstick.
No, it's actually, I guess, $30.
A 30-euro lipstick went into the making of this sign. I want this to be, noted. That is some dedication right there.
Yeah, sure, for chaos.
I think your words needed. They're well, it's tied 1-1, but obviously they just lost. Carolina, you're cheering for chaos as well, right?
Yes, that's true. Oh shit, that's the wrong sign. Sorry. Yay, go misery, go chaos.
All right, I wish your boys, good luck in the next game, and keep up the signs. I actually, before we go, new markers, no more lipsticks need to die for those signs, but keep them up because we love them. It's back to the desk. Back to you, Paul.
Brilliant.
Oops.
Whoops. Oh, gee. I love signs. They're good. Good rescue, well saved. Go misery, as far as they're concerned. This could be quite tight though.
Anyone notice that second sign was written in black? So if they're both written with lipstick, she wears like pure black lipstick. That's also, where's the friendliness? Where's the sharing of markers? Catch up, Red.
Hi.
Let's just pretend that didn't
Am
happen.
I the only one who actually thought that was wrong?
No, I'm just confused. I mean, share the markers, share the lipstick.
That was definitely not my point.
Oh. Okay. Can we move on?
Sure.
What is going on?
I'm stuck in some sort of
I make
Toby
sense.
world.
You know, at this point, like again, hopefully, community, you understand and can translate what comes out of my mouth sometimes, because these guys have no idea.
Fogged, rescue us,
please.
Hi, Fogged.
Hello, Dota.
Hi. Dota. Oh yeah,
it's back. As soon as I say it, the draft comes up.
Draft and everything.
I did it.
Thank you for production. Can we go back to being nerds again?
That was good timing, actually. I said Dota and it just appeared.
Can you do that again?
I'll take it. I'll try next time.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be nice.
All right, Pango taken out for the third games in a row. Will they leave the profit in?
No Pango.
No Pango, no Tiny. 3 and 3.
I want to see that HFN safe lane profit, man.
Hey, you got to get Mineski to Nick, but this time around.
I'll take that too.
That's what's got to come.
Can I also make the point that when we get to this stage, Alan, in lower brackets, knockout games, effectively best of one now because there's just one game left. No holding back anymore. No reserving stuff we thought we might think is out, but this is it now.
There are
throw
no
everything
strats to be saved.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Throw everything at it, including the kitchen sink. There, you just got to go for everything, right?
Absolutely.
I was going to ask that question right there. I was like, do you think they're considering banning Oracle because of these last two games?
Well, not just the last two.
Well, I mean, between the two teams, right? Like,
no, sure, last two series.
But yeah, it's definitely been a massive hero on the rise.
Is it unique, do you think, to this matchup? It suited both teams. No. They both play it, or do you think we are going to see more?
I think Oracle's for real. I think the hero.
You think it's proper tier 1 now? As
people are realizing that effectively, if in the right games, Fatesy gives you a second save. The root is really, really powerful now as well, with the potential to stop TPs. Like it's legit.
Yeah. Okay.
It's one of the only dispels also in the game, right?
Yep. Yep. They took now that they took away Diffusal and they nerfed a bunch of other sources of dispel. That's absolutely. There's the profit. They take it. Yeah, their compromise was they're going to ban the Oracle, but they're going to take the profit off the table with the first pick.
So Lesh, Ember.
I don't know.
How have you rated Pilot Eyes drafting, by the way, this event?
It's getting better. I think in the beginning they've been, like they said, they're testing, right? Yeah. I think they're still like trying to learn, and I think everyone's just still trying to learn what this is.
I mean, sure, learning's fine, but in the way that he has figured out his opponents and his fellow drafters on the other side, do you think it's been good?
Yeah, I do think so. Yeah. Especially in that last game, I really like them just doing these little tricks that they had up their sleeves. They're like, okay, we showed, Monkey King and Lycan, then they just pick a Doom, showed that little neat thing in the mid lane, It's been good.
You definitely like the adjustments that he's been able to make in the last couple of series for this team, because they really looked like they were in a downward spiral.
Yeah, and there's the Lesh, like we were mentioning.
Yep.
I was thinking Lesh Ember, but okay, Lesh Warlock. That's not something I expected.
Yeah, this is more. I think Secret ran this.
Well, we first saw this, the first time that we saw this hero, it was against a first phase Enigma, I believe it was, and it makes sense as a way to stop Black Hole, but we've seen it a couple times since, and I think that teams are just valuing this hero.
Was it the same combo in that game? I think it was, wasn't it? Wasn't it Lesh Warlock?
I
was
believe
2 different
so.
games.
That was a secret draft, right?
Yeah,
there was 2 different ones.
Secret draft, yeah.
Mineski also played a Warlock game versus an Enigma, and they had a Bounty Hunter. No, they had Bounty Hunter and Warlock.
So I think it was Secret that ran the Lesh Warlock opener.
Yes, I'm pretty sure about that one, yes.
And there's
man, I tell you, no hesitation. Yeah, that's a nice pick.
Yeah.
You wonder if they're going to ban the Monkey King here in the second phase. Protect that Ember in the mid lane.
They're going to have to get some type of catch on Chaos. It's that, or, I mean, well, Leshrac will build an Atos, so Atos will be one of those.
Yeah, Chubby had that super early last game.
Do you guys like that idea, Toby? Are you on board with that? Pick a core second that you can then ban 2 of in the second ban phase? Do you know what I mean? You pick it second so that you can ban out at least 2 counters.
Well,
it's
important. It's important that you do that. You're more likely to do that when you have the 4th overall pick, right? When you're the first pick team.
I'm wondering if that's really their intent, or if their intent is just, you know what, let's just still have like flexible heroes so we can put in different lanes. Like you pick up an Ember which can go 1 and 2, you go a Prophet which can go 4 or 3. Yeah. Like it's just keeping your options open. So yeah, you can ban out the heroes that may be problematic for them, but
usually the Razor, the Husker.
I'm just liking the start where you're so maneuverable. Like Prophet can go global, Ember can do the same type of thing. You've got counter push and push inside the lanes. You've got initiation and repositioning during team fights. It's a block pick against Chaos. Like everything just makes sense. That like, I don't think the next 2 bans is what you're sitting there going, this is definitely why we picked this in the first phase.
And Toby's hitting on the key point there with the Ember Spirit, that laning flexibility. Not every team has 2 cores that will run the Ember Spirit. Both these teams do. Both Ajit, Moon, as well as HFN and we have games on the Ember Spirit in the last 2 patches.
This is what I always liked about the OG drafts when you were at TI. Like, it's like, oh, Ember Spirit's going to get picked up. I wonder who it's going to be on. Like which lane does it appear in? Like, it's the flexibility. It's what Secret capitalize on every single time they draft. You get the first 2 pickups, and it can go anywhere.
Who's the team that's been running Tiny in every position? Is that Fnatic?
Yes.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's Fnatic. Fnatic have run in all 5 positions, and that's sort of how they've gotten away with the fact that they're not a Coddle or Chen team, that because Tiny is that super flex pick for them, they'll first phase that, and that takes away a lot of the deficiency.
Similar bans for Mineski as Chaos did last time. They banned what, Huskar Razor. Mineski does the Huskar and the Ursa instead for the Ember Spirit to protect, but that's also for a mid-game thing, not only just for the lane aspect.
I actually want to talk about these bans because I wonder if, because you're not seeing Mineski put the same kind of priority on protecting the Ember Spirit's lane, banning heroes like the Razor, the Monkey King, etc. I wonder if this tells us that Ember is more likely to be a safe laner.
Okay, where did they put the Prophet?
Well, that's the wonderful thing about Mineski's Prophet, right? Is that this could be easily a Pile I Die Prophet. This could easily be a KP Prophet. It's a super flex hero for them. They have not shown the safe lane Prophet like Chaos has, but...
Okay, Lycan ban for Chaos. Let's see what their 3rd pick is.
That should have a reasoning behind it, right?
The Lycan?
Yeah, in theory, because there's nothing on the other side, is there?
Sure, they just played in the last game, and I think that hero is also on the rise.
Yeah.
Because of the changes that he's been
Maybe
getting.
they just didn't like playing against it.
They may be also worried about their lack of control.
Okay, but it's something to do with what they want to pick second phase?
Yeah,
you'd assume, wouldn't you?
You wonder.
I mean, lack of control is definitely one that I was thinking, because they already have the Ember to deal with, which can be annoying. They'll be getting the Atos on the Lesh, but yeah, they're still gonna...
That's if we're looking at a core Lesh as well, depending on the flexibility they want to have later.
Yeah, well, he'll go for Atos anyway. He'll be a 4, he'll be a 3 or a 4 more than likely.
But by that point, how far has he run as the Atos flies through the air? Like the high movement speed is crazy, and the Warlock Rock is meant to be the follow-up to a big team fight, right? Like or a heavy interruption. So Mineski don't have to go the Enigma. They don't have to be like, okay, heavy interruption at all. Yeah. And now you actually
there's
the Razor. Yeah.
Again,
we saw this one.
Yeah, when you're picking that Ember Spirit first phase and you're not taking those lane counters off the table.
Well, that was my point, wasn't it? About if you pick it second, then you get the next 2 to ban something that it's countered by. And Mineski didn't do that. Chaos did do that in the previous game.
Yeah.
But Mineski can still jump the lanes if they're too concerned about the Razor.
Yeah.
Sure.
And they can still move that Ember. You're right.
I'm also concerned about Chaos's ability to jump in. Like, Razor is a kind of like a walk it or run at you hero. Warlock and Lesh aren't their initiators just yet, so how do they actually jump in and get control on an Ember? We're talking about the control problems when you've got a Lycan in Mineski's lineup, but how do you get control on an Ember Spirit or an Nature's Prophet?
I mean, we saw it in the first game, right? That was the big problem that we all have with their draft. And then it was Tavo playing the Razor, and he itemized for that control. So, you know, Razor can rush the Yules, rush the Atos, items of that nature to make up for that deficiency. But I agree.
Does that control an Ember then? Like you've still got
Atos, absolutely. Atos is absolutely. Atos is awesome.
Yeah, the projectile speed's too fast. It's 1500.
Yep.
It's insane how you.
It's got great range and a hugely fast projectile.
Okay.
I'm wondering if they could...
I did not know it was 1,500 until we looked it up.
I thought it was 1,200. It had to have gotten buffed recently when I checked. Because I had in my head that it was either 1,000 or 1,200, and then I looked it up and I was like, oh, wait, it's 1,500 now. But
it had to be because I had the same... We were debating. We both had the same numbers in our heads. Oh, yeah, there you go, Fuck. Come on.
Yay. ET and I love both of these, actually. When they're together, it's like an old classic we used to see. Just like, okay, high ground defense. These two are kings of high ground defense.
Well, and the thing I love about it, right, is the nerf that kind of took Ember out initially was the splitting of the aura, where the magic part goes on to the spirit and the physical part goes on to the hero itself. You still get Ember is a spell damage hero now when you talk about when he comes online in the mid game, and you still can move that spirit into the back lines to juice up the Ember combo.
That's the hero I was going to say.
Oh my god,
versus
that's so
both
nasty.
Yeah,
that's so nasty.
It's good, amazing versus both. Elder Titan doesn't really like playing versus hero that much, and Ember Spirit you can set up for ganks easily, and he's really good versus the Nature's Prophet.
And it gives you very, very strong... Your core Lesh and core Razor here gives you two very, very strong laners against the only core that we've seen on the side of Mineski ostensibly is the Ember Spirit.
See, T-Governor very animated by Misery during the draft at that fourth pick as well.
That next pick is so good. This is the second phase here from Chaos has really been on point, I think.
Yeah, he's the fight starter. He's their catch. He gives them just so many extra things inside of this game.
You know, regardless of the role that Nature's Prophet serves, he can hunt the Prophet as well if the Prophet decides to split push. No, it's
follow up.
Is this
Flash, so.
I was thinking like the one position that could be played, and PA is going to be their choice. They would have probably loved the hero they banned, like Lifesteal us out. But
how are they laning?
But lane, exactly. Like, look at these. Look at the core matchups in lane. I mean, you can't dodge every lane, guys, and you're gonna have either an Ember Spirit or a PA laning against either a Leshrac or a Razor.
Are they gonna change this up? Is this gonna be some like off lane Ember Spirit, safe lane PA, and then you pick a different mid hero or something?
It's almost gotta be. It's almost gotta be.
Yeah.
But are your dual lanes that strong? Can you get away with doing that?
When you got a Prophet on the field, potentially, but not on the early levels.
I don't know.
Misery doesn't look like he's got...
and do you have...
It feels pretty comfortable as got by the looks of it.
And what hero then... What sets up the Elder Titan? Like, what sets up his combo?
Ember.
Yeah.
Ember's enough? Okay.
Ember can do it, Sprout could potentially do it. Maybe even just the slow from PA Stifle.
Ember is really good at setting it up, usually.
Yeah, that's fair enough, if you get a good chains.
Okay, they take out that Doom. I mean, it was a huge problem in the last game.
Wasn't it?
Even though he ended up like, KP I think was like 1-1 and 25, but that 25, he was showing up every single time. He put lots of pressure in the laning phase too.
They really need someone that's just going to wreck a lane for Mineski.
Oh, absolutely. But then again, you have to be careful, right? This is what we said about their last draft. We were very concerned about the Mineski laning phase, and they out-executed. Plain and simple.
What are Chaos looking for here, and what do Mineski want to be careful of?
I'm looking at Slark.
Yeah, you think you're going to go back to an HFN Slark?
I think so.
I think it's one of the luxuries that you buy yourself when your first two core picks really look like they're going to own the lane matchups, is you have so much flexibility then at the end of the draft.
I think so. I'm trying to think of
do you like Slark against a PA?
Timberban for Mineski.
Again, I just think the Slark against PA matchup is something that I think it boils down. A lot is on which team has the control advantage, and I really like the control that Chaos is going to have around the Slark.
Paladai seems like he's in a quite heavy debate. So Red's just moving cards very suspectly on.
No. I have my Meepo card sat next to me. It's not happening this time.
No, it's not happening.
No, it's not.
Okay, KP Brew, absolutely solid.
Okay, so
what about something like an HFNTB? I still like the Slark, for the
I
record.
still like the Slark.
They don't have much. Actually, they got no reserve time by the looks of it.
Yeah, you need to make a decision here. It looks like they have.
Spectre.
No.
More of a hard carry.
Like, is Spectre going to get to play Dota in this game?
I think it's because they have a Warlock. That's why you pick it. It's just the Spectre Warlock combo. But Spectre's greedy.
Is that lane? But I mean, that lane kind of isn't a thing right now.
Yeah, could get pressured a lot.
I'm wondering who's going to be the bigger chaos creator, the Brewmaster of KP or that spec. It's
A rather flummoxed panel.
I'm not even sure that I would like this draft from Chaos. If it, like, after the last game, it's so hard to pick Chaos with Mineski's execution in the early game, but I'm not even sure, even before that game, whether I would have liked this draft. The Spectre, the only time that we've seen Spectre in this tournament, it got taken advantage of.
Hasn't it?
Yeah.
Secret won that game, though.
yeah.
Well, fine.
But it's secret.
No, wait, we saw it one other time then.
Okay,
right?
I got to
lose.
see I only saw the secret game.
Fair enough.
And they picked it into Naga. They made it work, but they were really, they were losing that game quite hard. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, we are. Okay, sorry.
Right. I'm gonna let you guys think about this. I'm not gonna put you on the spot for any predictions, and we're gonna head into game number 3 between these two teams, looking for a place in the second round of the lower bracket.
Elimination or progression. Mineski versus Chaos is going to come down to Chaos grabbing the last pick, Spectre, establishing a great late game advantage. It seems like, Blitz, we're not going to see an early 20-minute, 30-minute victory for either side this time around.
I mean, potentially. You could always just get run over with either team's lineup. If both teams have picked something a little bit greedy on each side, but I really hope we get a really long game again.
Yeah, I guess on both sides we have, like, what? Razor for Chaos. It's kind of a snowballing core. And on the other side, we've got this PA, who has been a monster in previous patches. At this tournament, hasn't been picked up nearly as often.
I think she's still pretty good. Like, she still has the potential for ending games at a decent time with, like, 2 items.
One thing is that we will not see, like, there isn't the combo that we've seen in this tournament with the PA of the Slardar. There's no Magnus or anything like that. Really, all we have is the Elder Titan, diminishing people's armor, which is still great, but it's not the same multiple heroes buffing this Phantom Assassin up like we saw earlier in the group stage.
Yeah. And so here we go is, at least Chaos is smoked up right now as King RD. I mean, Twitch chat seems to love him. I don't know what the meme is.
30 seconds to battle.
King RD? I mean, he's just been around leading the Brazilian scene for a long time. I'm sure he's built up a hefty amount of fans.
Okay.
We'll stick with that. Looks like we may just be having a split of the bounty runes here. Talking about laning phase, what are the sort of lane matchups that we're looking for? Is we're going to see the bounty runes, the fighter over it. We're going to have Chaos trying to defend theirs against Febby. He is going to be pushed away. It is going to be a split 2 for 2. But the question is, who's going to walk away having dealt more damage? Tavo going down to half health against this Phantom Assassin. Curious to see how his offlane is going to go against Furion PA. Looks a little tough.
Yeah, they're just going to dual lane down here with Lesh plus Nyx, both heroes that don't necessarily have the easiest stuns to hit, but...
And they don't really have great ways to deal with the harassment of treants.
But if they work together, Maybe
like
they can
this.
do it. I told you.
King RD. Pylite Die puts himself just a bit too far forward, gets double stunned, and there's no more stuns left.
Wow.
He also doesn't have teleportation, so he's going to have to walk his way back. It's still a big win for Chaos, who are now going to be 2v1 against the Phantom Assassin. Meanwhile, top lane, we can see Febby trying to put some pressure on HFN, but this is a Spectre Warlock lane. This is one of those very defensive lanes that is hard to break just through harassment. And that's all because of the great healing power that Warlock gives you.
Yeah, that was still well done, though, by Chaos's. Now that it's a 2-on-1 down here, they can play a little bit more aggressive onto Ajit, who isn't having the easiest time CSing under this tower. Lucky for him, though, his Ember's doing a very good job thus far. And that's pretty surprising considering Ember versus Razor. Feels like it should be incredibly Razor favored.
Yeah, and I'm sure it will get more and more favored to the Razor as time goes on. Maybe it was just, you know, kind of, sometimes you get these matchups that are favorable, but just the level 1 area, that first creep wave or 2, you do pretty well.
Yeah. The cool thing about Moon, though, is I feel like this guy, because Mineski hasn't had the most success, people forget that this guy's really good.
Yeah.
He figures out ways to just sort of win lanes. I mean, these Southeast Asian mid players, man, like Mid One, Moon, they just sort of figure it out. They're like, well, even though I'm supposed to lose this lane, you know, I'll work it out somehow.
You know, like, Moon doesn't care about his physical damage. He just keeps on putting more and more of that Flame Guard and Shackle damage onto Weehaw, who drops pretty low, has still his 2 shared tangos to fall back on. Does mean all that damage being taken away, Weehaw's going to have some free time for CSing. So you can see that CS score is quickly picked it back up, 11-5 now. So it was just that initial wave, it seems, that Moon managed to do well for himself. Oh, Moon, is he actually going to be able to get the kill? Fairy Fire goes off. Weehaw trying to slow him down with the Plasma Field as well. Gets into the trees. Oh, no, Moon blocked by creeps. No! He tries to get back to the tower. The bottle will keep him alive ever so barely.
He had that. Oh, no.
Top lane, Febby. Oh, that last shot was coming in from Misery, but did have the stick charges. So it looks like everywhere we go, Mineski and Chaos are battling it out in this laning phase, trying to get that first blood that is yet to be spilled.
That was almost so well done, but instead, that's going to heavily swing the lane in favor of the Razor now, because he all in for that. He used all 3 bottle charges.
Yeah.
The good news for him is that, I mean, he can just sit back. The lane isn't pushed down towards the bottom area, so he can still get XP. The bad news is that we actually picked up the rune as Moon. I don't think you want to do this time.
Yeah, this time around, he's building up so much physical damage. He's going to get around to Shackles. The Plasma Field doesn't well, it actually does nothing. All that magic damage was soaked up. We unfortunately missed out on the actual first blood. It wasn't going to happen mid. It happened top. HFN was the one to pick it up.
Yeah, no. Not really sure what happened there. ET probably just got aggressive. We'll just blame it on JJ. Even though we were talking about mid, that's on him.
I mean, it was definitely a close call in that mid lane. And it seems like the way the Ember Spirit is solved this matchup is he just fights that Razor every single time with the Flame Guard up.
He's got a rune now, so he can actually potentially do it. But there is a sentry available, so we should at least know when he does go invis.
Racking up that spirit damage, Febby may have been too aggressive previously. And hasn't really stopped the Spectre from CSing whatsoever. We heard the analyst panel talk about this. Is not sure how much they can really pressure a Spectre Warlock lane. And you can see just the reason why that Spectre is tough to fight into when he has the extra healing. The Stomp's going to go down. Bottom lane, we're going to see Pylite Die try and hit that split earth. Does get a lot of damage. Looks like that's going to be another kill.
The mid-kill tip.
Chaos pick up 2. Oh, Ajit is going to jump onto King RD here, trying to finish him off. Tavo, he's going to be throwing out a split earth. Doesn't actually land, and King RD will end up falling. Pylite is going to come back into this fight. Doesn't have a Sprout, though, and won't be able to get the bounty runes either. Tavo picks up both of those.
That was so well done by Pylite Die. But it was even more well done by Chaos, because they perfected the tipping. They did it before he was even dead, Austin.
Saying that they don't even have to really focus on getting the kill.
You don't even gotta watch. you just know that they're going to tip you. And it should feel a little bit difficult to hit both those stuns, but I mean, Pylite Dai does have boots available, but still, I mean, Nature's Prophet was blessed with the ability to teleport anywhere into the game, so as a result, they took away his shoes.
Yeah. KP trying to go into misery here. The stomp is going to be there. KP immediately wakes him back up, trying to deliver those crits, but does have the fatal bonds on him underneath the tower. This is a dangerous proposition for Mineski. Fortunately, they managed to de-aggro off the tower. That means the two of them will not share nearly as much damage as they could have. Febby trying to get the stomp out so KP can actually get out of here, but he's still stuck here, and KP claps, but with the dagger on him, he really cannot escape from HFN unless HFN just keeps on missing over and over again. Finally, he does fall. Febby actually came in to see if he can do some body blocking to help out KP. Means he takes a little extra damage on his way out.
It's so hard to get aggressive on the Spectre. I don't know why Mineski's trying. Like, they can't really do anything. They don't have that heavy burst to just pop the Spectre, which means that any sort of one-on-one right-click fight, the Warlock is just helping win really easily.
Yeah.
If Febby's trying over and over again, he's built up some stacks here and there, but it's just not enough to deal with the Spec, who is now level 6 pretty much for free at just 7 minutes into the game. On the other side of things, KP, who had such a good early game last time around, not been so successful this time as Chaos. I mean, they're making a case for just winning 3 lanes straight up, and we've seen what happens in the past 3 or 4 metas where if you lose 3 lanes like this, sometimes you just lose the game.
Yeah, just all snowballs against you. All these cores, they start picking up some Wraith bands. You've got the off-laners that pick up these team fight items, and people just start getting too tanky. We just run out of damage all the time. KP trading shots here with HFN. Febby's gonna come in, lay a couple of staples out on that big core of Chaos. Bottom lane, Ajit might be in trouble here. He's looking away to bounce out, and that's going to be through the tree. It's provided by Pylite Dai, and now here comes Moon. He's going to be able to get the shackle on the two of them. Nice pickup. That's going to be Tavo. Beautifully body blocked, but an impale out from King RD opens a small window for Tavo to get away, but he just can't get out.
Give him the tip.
Moon
Let's
has
counter.
too many remnants.
Maybe they muted him.
Could be, could be. Weehan going to use that time that the Ember Spirit is away to try and get some damage on that mid-tier 1. Meanwhile, top lane, KP chased out by that very farm Spectre, who's sitting at top net worth right now, 3,300.
In all my days of Dota, I know that you're not allowed to just give Spectre absolute free farm. And the way that I watch HFN farm, you're definitely not allowed to give this guy absolute free farm. Of all the people that you're going to give a free laning phase to, I mean, you saw what he did with the poor laning phase. This time around, it feels like he's just punishing them even harder for giving them just absolute free space.
So how do they fix this? Is that just all up to Moon? Is that his responsibility? That
it's probably going to be a lot on Moon, similar to the puck game where he just has to do the heavy lifting.
Right.
I think in this game, he's going to have to do quite a lot for his team.
You know, every single time I've been on panel, I've been talking about Mineski. I feel like that's a trend for them, is that Moon always has to do a lot of the heavy lifting, or at least most of the time.
Yeah, in the last game, it was a pretty good distribution. I felt like Febby did a ton, but this time around, he just doesn't really have anything to do in this game. Like, he can't really pressure that top lane. Mid's probably not killable until his Ember gets a few levels. Bottom is...
Do you want to try lane against the Lash Nyx Assassin?
Not.
I don't think so.
And it's really easy for the Nyx to mess you up.
Yeah. We are so damn oppressive. Look at that, 65 and 33 denies.
Yeah, it's been all Weehaw now. Plus, he's already finished his Midas. Like, this guy is really quite farmed.
He just seems kind of upset that game 2, and especially that mid matchup, did not go as well for him. They're going to fight over the bounty runes, manage to jump in. Ajit doesn't manage to grab it. They're going to fight here with King RD. The first one down. Moon's going to jump over, grab the bounty. He's refilling his bottle as well, giving the resources needed. Tavo going to chase down Ajit. He's going to be with that AoE damage, enough to kill the PA. Febby is going to be able to get out, but top lane, KP was trying to chase Misery, but HFN has already TP'd back up to the top lane.
Yeah, and he managed to kill Pylite Dai during that entire time. They went for the split, it ended up working. as a result, well, for half a second, they had the top 3 net worths in the game, as Tavo just needs like 1 CS and he's going to pass up this Ember.
Does the game change at all? We have level 6 on Brewmaster. Well, it looks like they are going to bring everybody from Mineski up to this top lane. The PA is already here. They pop the Brewmaster ultimate just to make sure they have enough disables to catch HFN. He is very tanky indeed, but not enough to be able to get back to the safety of the trees. Misery, he will also fall here, and this is well timed with that 10-minute siege creep. They might just be able to take well, I'm going to say not the first tower of the game, because Chaos, they are already well on their way, pushing out bottom.
Weehaw gets the last hit. He's got 2 illusions there with him too. Was able to outlast it. The Diabolic Edict is. It looks like they want to defend this top towers. Wee's going to come in now. They don't really want to go on him just because of how tanky he is, and they might just get a 2-for-1 here, being able to save the tower.
Oh, Moon, he's going to try and chase down this Razor. Misery gives him a little bit of bump and of heal, but so much damage coming in so fast.
Are you?
Big Remnant, triple Remnant, that's going to be enough to finish him off. Misery just standing there with the upheaval, trying to slow down these heroes as all of Chaos are TPing in, finally to get the Impale onto Moon. HFN tries to go for Pylite Dive, but the TP on, he has to give up on that kill, and they back away. No tower for the rest of Chaos to TP in, but look at bottom, yeah. Diabolic Edict, and still that same siege creep. Laying damage into a tier 2, brought it down to almost half health.
If they leave it alone for half a second now, he is going to take it. But very well done by Mineski. Even though they technically lost 3 lanes when it came to CS, they have recovered by the sick rotations by Moon, and that's what we were talking about. Is this is going to be a large portion of the game on his shoulders. And so far, he's made it work. His successful rotations to bottom, and especially that one at top where they managed to grab Weehaw seemingly for free, just kind of overrated his tankiness, especially with the Warlock there. I think he assumed that the heal was going to do much more, but they have heavy burst damage for him.
Moon has some stacks to clear, so while, yes, he's been having to run around the map, his team has made sure that he has some extra farm to find. And that'll bring him up to level 10, already has phased drums.
All right, King RD, I'm going to need you to get a little bit more active here. He does have a level 7 early on as Pylite Die, probably not the target. Pai's got a buckler and a magic wand. This is the richest I've ever seen Pai. He's probably accidentally taking creeps.
And on top of that, even if they go and impale and try and kill him, he could just always TP back. So King RD not finding a good window for his first Vendetta.
I mean, if Pai gets like a pre-20-minute mech, Pai of all people, like, I will be flabbergasted. Mineski has technically won there, because that must be a first. This man plays 5 beyond 5 for this team.
Speaking of 5, 7-5 right now, 13 minutes in, a very slight net worth lead for Mineski.
Oh, look at this early Atos pickup by Tavo. He's going to reveal it here, but he's got the
split. Brewmaster gets off the split in time, and now turns around, gets the disables onto Tavo. The Fire Panda staying on top, but it's dying so quickly from all this magic damage. That's where Moon's going to come in. A golem comes down, but it's not enough to save Tavo's life, and Moon walking out of the upheaval, dealing some damage on him. Misery, you got to get out of there, but he can't run away from Moon fast enough. King RD is quite low. Slide of fist to finish him off. Moon is tearing apart Chaos at the core. Weehaw, he's going to be survivable enough to be able to get away until he's hit by the stop. Moon, he has some bottle charge. He's going to heal up a little bit more. Has another round of Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains. Weehaw, ultra kill for Moon. You said this man had to carry Mineski back into this game, and he certainly has. HFN thinks about going for him, but that would be a poor choice. Tavo laying some damage into KP this time around. There is no Brewmaster split to escape, but there is Bebi's Echo Stomp.
And that's how it all started, is they try to go on to that Brew. You saw that KP did not hesitate. He's like, I'm going to take this threat very seriously, preemptively pops the split. Everybody starts filtering, and at that point, Chaos are more or less all in committed for that engagement. You saw the Razor come up from behind, and that's where Moon and Bebi...
King RD in some trouble. Nice double impale, and he does have Vendetta up in 2 seconds. Should be fine, unless Pylite Die. Well, he does have a sentry, but King RD is going to walk out of it.
Just gets out of range, and the dagger was also flowing over the top.
Look back at that team fight. KP immediately I mean, that was so close.
And he
both
got the micro
impale
off.
and the splitter.
Look at where he put the Razor. Way far back, couldn't help at all.
Yeah.
Isolates out Tavo, who, despite dealing a lot of damage, isn't very tanky. And Febby also had a very nice stomp there. Finds Misery in the back line, does a very good job of comboing spells, but he might just go down here as they do have the Atos 2 in 1 second.
This would be a sick kill. Tavo laying out a lot of magic damage. He's going to be able to jump back to the Remnant, and there is a Shrine there, but he's not able to activate it, at least not yet anyway. The Flame Guard, he's going to be good. That magic damage is no longer a threat. He baited them in as deep as possible and will be rewarded with the kill on Tavo.
I mean, Tavo even, he gives him the all-chat gong. He's like, I got outplayed.
He knows.
And they're trying to kill this Ember, but this was a really early Atos pickup. He's not even going for something like a Yules on the Ember, which we see is quite common to counter these mid-game builds to try to catch him. He's feeling so confident about it. Instead, just trying to pick up the Maelstrom. I think he realizes that so much of the game is on his shoulders and he has to create this mid-game space timing that he can't afford to go more defensive, and he just has to rely on the individual skill angle.
Yeah. With the help of KP, they'll take the mid-tier 1 tower, start invading that Dire jungle. HFN, he made the read, saw it was all coming his way.
I mean, HFN is continuing to do HFN things, and
yeah,
this is a really good hero for him to do HFN things on, just because it's a Spectre. You can always be there for your team if you need. You can continue to play this greedy style and be somewhat effective in the mid-game. As King RD, I mean, he's hanging around the area as KP just wanted a Midas.
Yeah, he's like sitting on top of the Leshrac. I'm not sure if he's expecting like the PA to jump in.
And they smoked up right now.
Okay.
Oh no, they didn't. Thought they were going to.
Oh, there it goes. Yeah, you were seeing into the future. That's
I was pretty sure they were going to smoke, and then they just didn't do it. But they were walking down into the jungle, and if you look at it too, Mineski's also smoked up. They completely read this move.
Well, they've got the high ground advantage here, and they have the Golem, but
they know
they need to be able to hit these stuns. And Moon, Rod of Atos, okay, that's the initial lead. The Flame Guard is going to protect Moon from all this magic damage. Tavo is going to be targeted pretty quickly here. He only has 1,000 HP, and with all these Brewlings staying on top of him, especially with the help of the Yellow Titan, he's going to fall so quickly. Moon makes sure he does go down. King RD and Misery start backing up. Weehaw actually getting hit by a stun there from the Earth Brew Panda, but they won't be able to get anybody else out of that.
And they're just getting outmaneuvered right now.
Yeah.
They read that movement. They knew that Chaos was going to be in their jungle. And Tavo, who had such a good start to this game, we saw him pressure that tier 2 tower early. His game has just been completely nullified. This is the third time he's tried to set up with that Atos. It hasn't really led to anything. The burst damage just isn't quite there for them. If you look at their lineup, it's a lot of protracted team fights. It's got to go for a long time. You've got the Warlock Rock. You've got the Edict, the way that the Spectre's typically going to fight. Same with the Razor. It's just not enough to burst him while he is Atos.
Right. And so what's the solution?
I think you just allow your Spectre to continue to farm. I think Chaos feels like they have to make a move, and they're going to find Febby here. This might finally lead to something. As
the PA is around, though. They are going to be able to run down Febby, and it looks like... I thought maybe the PA would hang around somewhere near, see if he can get into that fight. No, he booked it immediately.
They need to take the mid tower so they don't have to make those aggressive smoke plays. They can just walk in.
Right.
They might even find Moon here. They've got him surrounded. They do have the Warlock Golem up too.
It's all up to King RT to set this off. Actually, nice. The Golem's leading the way. The follow-up Impale Moon dies so quickly. Great pickup, great coordination from Chaos.
The double tip too. And they're just going to walk down mid now. They've got the Golem, the Edict. There is a glyph available, but there's no way that Mineski are willing to fight this, and so Pylai Dai immediately TP stores that top area. He's going to grab the tower for this at least. It's not the worst trade, but very well done by Chaos. And I like that they didn't hesitate to drop everything on Moon's head. Yeah. You can't allow this Ember Spirit to live for whatever reason. Good collapse onto that mid tower. Now that they've opened that up, I don't think Roche is really that easy of a possibility for them, but it'll make Mineski think twice about trying to grab it themselves.
The Primal Split is back up with the Blink Dagger on KP as well, so maybe Mineski, as the Ember Spirit comes back up, maybe they can see if they can turn the tables. Catch Chaos somewhere. Right now it's King RT being body blocked by Treants. The Spike Carapace will buy him a little bit of time, but no. Triple Remnant. Way too much damage for him to TP away. And Moon just keeps on running in. He's just going to go straight into that jungle area, knowing that it's very unlikely that Chaos can kill him again, but downriver. Yule Scepter going down. Weehaw trying to get out, stealing some of the damage away from Jin, who immediately breaks in, jumps back in onto the Razor. Weehaw just too separated from his team, and Mineski take advantage of that, bringing him down and heading straight to the Roshan.
They put pressure on tier 2 mid. They've taken the tier 2 top as Moon continues to look to play aggressively, but he's only got one remnant up, so I think he's going to be a little bit hesitant and instead probably just hang around the Roche Pit area, secure his team this objective. The good news for them is that even though they lost that tier 2 tower mid and they lost Moon, Ajit has just been farming this entire time. He's mirroring what the Spectre's doing. They're allowing HFM to farm, but I think they're okay with that because they know that this PA is also very farmed. And her timing is going to come online much faster.
Yeah, sitting Battle Fury, soon to be BKB.
They're about to get double BKB.
That timing is pretty much, yeah. We're going to see like 2-3 minutes. Mineski are going to be super strong.
And this BKB is going to be really good for them this game.
Yeah, what's a Leshrac going to do? The PA who can just jump on him, blow him up with all this physical damage.
It's more like
really
the Knicks. If you're a 4-position player, you're expected to team fight for a while, but he's just not really going to get that same opportunity off. King RD, I think he's preparing for a long winter. He's got the gloves of haste. Looks like he's most likely going to try to grab a Midas before he gets any real item. And Febby, on the other hand, himself has a BKB queued up. So everyone has the same idea. They're going to try to get 4 BKBs on the side of Mineski. Pi almost has Vlad's mech. That is absurd.
That is a lot of team fight items and a lot of farm for Pi Lai Dai. He is the top of all the supports in Network. King RT scouting things out here in this bottom lane, hoping that he can find a kill. But instead, he's going to run into a sentry now. I think he just spotted Ajit, who is going to throw a dagger at him until he ran out of the sentry. So he backs up. Pi Lai Dai teleporting in, doesn't actually get spotted, gets a ward on the high ground.
Yeah, with 3.5 minutes left on the Aegis, I imagine you just march down bottom and try to grab that tier 1, tier 2. You want to take full advantage of it, but I don't think it's this is really a high ground Aegis. I think this is more just take some advantage of the fact as Pi is going to go for a real aggressive TP.
No way, really?
Pi?
That is a deep one. He's not going to be punished by it, though. Nobody from Chaos wants to fight right now.
And there's a BKB now completed by Moon, a BKB on this Phantom Assassin. I think Chaos should just be in full retreat mode. Just continue to allow the Spectre to try to go late game for you. HFN does almost have that Radiance complete as Chaos is going to smoke behind him. What they're anticipating is Moon to come back. What they want is Moon to come back onto the Shrine, try to deal with this push-up here, and just all collapse on him. Drop the rock if you need to. You'll get a tier 1 tower of your own. And Moon, are you privy to this? The good news for Moon is that he doesn't have a TP up for 20 seconds. That has probably saved his life. Because Moon definitely would have gone for that. That would have been objectively a decent play to make. And in fact, they're going to get scanned now. And the high ground ward has now been drawn too because of the double BKB. I think they're just saying, well, either you're going to fight us or we'll just continue to march in. And now the TPs are flying in from Chaos. They're giving up on their attempt to try to set up for that kill. But I like where their head was at least.
Tavo with the Glimmer Cape leading an initiation.
Oh, that looks
Split
like it hit.
Earth.
That was weird.
Missing on Ajit. HFN just continue to push in that top lane for all it's worth. He's closing in on the Radiance. He's very close to it and almost has his level 18 as well. Level 20 talent is big. That extra 500 health.
Yeah,
so
notice Moon is the one to deal with this now that he has a TP. Imagine if he did have that TP up. He would have died, they would have lost the tier 2, and it would have just been a trade. But the Aegis, only a minute and a half left to it, so this is likely going to be the last tower that Mineski try to take. Unless Chaos just afford them an opportunity to go high ground, potentially taking a fight. And they do almost have the Radiance on their Spectre. You have to wait for that. There's no reason to fight without it.
That's why Mineski just keep on playing so aggressively. Moon with his haste rune trying to find anybody in that dire jungle, but missed out on the slight into chains.
They're just letting Spectre farm. I guess they think that they're going to be able to handle him late game. This is the classic HFN. My team isn't having the best of times. Don't worry, guys. You can put it on my shoulders. I have farmed quite a bit. He is
it's going to be hard,
so good.
though. I mean, he's going to scale really well, but when you've got this much map control from Mineski, especially with the Furion, they're just able to pick up every single bounty and just build more and more of a net worth lead. Oh no, Pilot died. They saw him coming in, just immediately get a stun onto him. But at the same time with his stomp, as well as Moon right here, we hop popping his BKB. What a great split that's going to be. That's going to be enough to finish off both King RD and bring Tavo low. Ajit's going to jump in, finish him off. And now the BKB has finished up onto this Razor. Yulsefter going down, trying to get out, but Ajit again pouncing on him, finishing off these kills. King RD turns around with a spike carapace, but he bought back for this, and now he's going to die back as Ajit gets the double kill. More and more buybacks coming in from Chaos as they TP in. Ajit needs some extra help, though. HFN with that Radiance damage is enough to force the PA to jump away, but they need actual kills for all of this. They've gotten the Ember Spirit. Can they get this PA? BKB turning. HFN is going to be able to get over this cliff area, but won't be able to get out because of the Glimmer Cape. They do have the dust. They spot him more. All they need is big time crits. The Golem's going to slow him down a little bit more. The upheaval as well. Just don't get crit, and he's going to be okay. The Warlock, not as lucky, though. Ajit immediately dies to him. Tavo managed to find one kill on Misery. He's going to kill the other support, and Pylon dying unless Ajit can do something about it. A little bit closer. The Lightning Burst does manage to kill him. KP drops a little low, but doesn't get that third kill. Tavo doing a great job cleaning up the back lines before he dies.
And importantly, they were able to save HFN. They had to drop the rock. Misery had to just stay there in the fire. Throws down the upheaval, tries to get his carry out, does manage to do so, but this does not bode well for them. They had to use a lot of buybacks for that. They only really managed to kill the Ember. Pylai dying there isn't that big of a deal, considering he's a 5-position Nature's Prophet.
Hey, one little small thing. The biggest beneficiary of that fight for Chaos was the Spectre. Everybody else lost gold, I think, in that engagement, but yes. Spectre, I think he got 800 or 900 gold out.
And more importantly, he grabbed his level 20 talent.
Oh, that's...
Because he was alone for a majority of those kills.
Yeah. He's right next to the shrine, but there's so much burst physical damage. He has the BKB. Ajit's still going to try and go for this kill despite the shrine factor.
So much
he
damage.
Just keeps on chasing him. Weehaw just needs to be able to get out of vision of Ajit, and he's going to be okay. The upheaval slowing him down. Oh, Misery. He thought for a second he could slow down these heroes. Nice impale out, but the primal split already goes down from KP. They really need to get HFN out, but he just can't get away. The chains locks him down for too long. They drop him down into Ajit, who's godlike, looking for the beyond godlike right now, but no. Moon will claim that kill instead. 24-12, 9,000 gold lead. Mineski turning up in this game 3, looking to close out the game before HFN gets too big.
The good news, though, for Chaos is that all the lanes are pushed in, so they can't immediately take advantage of this. They might just continue to try to go for it, but 44 seconds left on their Spectre. Can they hold without him? They really don't want to have to buy back if they can.
Radiance on KP. So they're going to even out that damage over time that HFN was bringing with the Radiance. We've got the level 20 on the Phantom Assassin with the -4 armor corruption.
She's got a Basher now too. So we see in this fight how it starts. Pylai finds Weehaw, who has to back out this entire time. You never really want to be on the back foot with this Razor.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for him, when Ajit decides he's going to all-in commit for it, he's going to all-in commit for it.
And he's always willing to just dive the Razor, right? Because he's kind of like the biggest threat to Ajit in a way that stealing away all that damage is going to kill a lot of the team fight potential for Mineski.
Yeah, what's problematic for HFN is that his teammates are not nearly tanky enough for him to play that game where, you know, he can come into fights, come out of fights. You saw that Misery gets jumped on, gets 2-shot. As KP, he's going to see King RD.
Managed to get him the Radiance into the Spike Carapace. The follow-up can they blow him up? The gold's going to be dropped. They need to get off that Primal Split. A Split Earth lands onto KP, locked him out with the Rod of Atos, and there it goes. It cost them everything. Golem, Spectre ults, every bit of abilities. Oh no, King RD, Moon.
The dagger over the top.
And now Misery's going to be found as well. Thanks to the Blink Dagger on Moon, he can just keep on searching for these kills. Weehaw running into Mineski here, feeling like he can actually take a fight. Immediately goes for the PA, starts sealing away some of his damage with the Yule Scepter going out. BKB jumps out, breaks that link, tries to go for the kill on Febby, couldn't quite get it. Now Febby, Weehaw is actually going to be in trouble here with the Glimmer Cape. He's projected for a little bit of time, but Ajit spots him now with the dust going out. And all these sentries, they're going to be able to bring down the Razor. Tavo, he's next up on the menu as Ajit just keeps keeps on throwing out the staggers, and what a big crit, almost finishing off HFN. The Ember Spear doesn't jump back for him just yet, but he's got the Blink Dagger. He will be able to hedge up the Sleight of Fist chain. Gets him in the end.
They're pinging Weehaw too. They're saying he did use the buyback for this. He doesn't have a TP out. They should chase him to the ends of this earth. They know he doesn't have a TP. He used it onto the shrine. I feel like they should make an attempt for this, but they're going to miss on the scan. They're pinging like crazy now. They know he is there.
Can they catch up to him, though? Nah, Razor. Just too damn fast. Still, though, another big win for Mineski, now up by 15K.
And Moon just collecting bounty runes. Going to go back for that, refill his bottle. KP does have the split available. And they did this all without him. This is their major team fight, keep in mind. And his Radiance is huge. They didn't have him this entire team fight. They used the buyback on Wii, and they still weren't able to hold up. Look at Misery.
He is chased. Fearless. He's going to run it in. That's not enough to actually kill Misery, thanks in part to the Glimmer Cape. Oh,
maybe
no.
They get KP.
KP's just been locked down again. A split Ur to finish him off. The tier 3 drops low, but Chaos now can take a fight to Mineski and catch some more heroes. They're going to be able to grab Highlight Die here, thanks to the Rod of Atos.
These are some errors right now that are completely unforced. They are going to get the tower for that. And Moon even tipped KP.
I mean, you cannot be giving Chaos more time to get back into this game. I mean, they have such a large net worth lead, but it's still a Spectre at the end of the day. You do not want to be going late game against this.
Yeah, they can't afford moments like that. As soon as Misery got Glimmer caped out, I feel like you just disengage. You've got Primal Split. There's no reason for KP to have to follow in that deep. You don't want to give Chaos opportunities. Remember, please remember what happened in game 1.
Yeah.
You can just wait for the Aegis cheese.
And now, Chaos, they're going to be in a position where Roshan, it is up. They're able to get a lot of the lanes pushed in. They're not a team that can actually take Roshan themselves, but what they're really hoping is just to be able to stall Mineski from taking it.
Yeah. The good news for Mineski, though, is, I mean, their PA and Ember are always going to scale in this game.
Yeah.
Like, they're probably the stronger cores. I mean, the Spectre, if you overestimate, try to go into him, his counter jump is very strong. But he's not going to have one of his best abilities in the game, which is the buyback into the Haunt, which gives you double the Spectre. Instead, he's going to fully buy out that Heart. Maybe he thinks, you know, they just need a little bit more to win these team fights.
Understandable. I think you have to take certain risks if you're Chaos. Try and get back into this game.
Dire's top shrine is under
Chaos just all grouped around their Dire jungle, the safer areas on the map. But it does mean they're conceding that area around the Roshan pit. And for all they know, the PA could be in there right now.
Yeah, the hard part for Chaos is keeping their Warlock alive. Because Misery's Rock does mean a lot. The problem is, as soon as he throws the Rock in the upheaval, he just gets gone on by the BKB PA and dies in 2 seconds. They need to somehow figure out a workaround for that. I think Misery just drops the Rock, waits for like a quarter of the fight to be over, and maybe comes back in. But they're going to try this anyways as Mineski. They've got impatient. They're going to go in for the Roche pit, and this is going to die fast. If Chaos is going to make a move, it's going to have to be now.
It could be a really sick fight for Chaos if they just get in there. Misery can get the Fatal Bonds into the... Oh, there's going to be the Rock, as well as a big Plasma Field out from Weehaw. Good Fatal Bonds on top of that. The Primal Split has already gone down in the sides on Jit. He's already blown up 2 cores. That's going to be a buyback immediately from Tavo. Jit, his BKB is now down, but he's still laying out so much waste onto Chaos. HFN is dead. He does not have a buyback. That Heart wasn't good enough to be able to win the fight, and Weehaw's damage is just pitiful compared to the rest of Mineski, who don't have a problem with him whatsoever. Moon challenges the Warlock at just 200 HP. That's enough to get the kill. Tavo just running in, trying to deliver any kind of kill that they can. Not even Moon. No, Moon does die eventually. Misery got him in the end, but still, Mineski up 4, have the Roshan at their leisure.
The triple tip. And it was the leftover Edict, I think, that got him. But look at top, Highlight Die immediately goes to the TP. And the PA is always going to feel good. Like, the Spectre has the Radiance, but you pop your BKB, you crit him twice. That's all she wrote.
That is looking like 2 lanes of racks minimum, if not megas here with no buybacks available on Chaos.
And they're gonging it up. I mean, I think they know.
Yeah.
There's no buyback on their Spectre. He used it all in for the heart. And this is a really weird way for Chaos to have won this, considering they've won all 3 lanes.
HFN is going to call it. He called GG. Mineski. I mean, what a run they made through this tournament. They came into it. There was that, what, like 6 loss streak that they had during the group stage. It was looking like they could have been one of the teams to go out in the groups. They managed to defy that. Now here on the main stage against Chaos, who did very well for themselves in the groups, almost made it into the top 2 spot. They bring down Chaos as well. It seems like Mineski is beginning to get into a groove here and just getting better and better.
Oh, they definitely are. But for Chaos, I mean, this is a rough way to lose. Again, I can't harp on it enough. You want 3 lanes. And then it was that move mid to go for that Brewmaster. KP, if he doesn't get that split off, I guess it's okay. But they really had to maximize to burst him. And then they just got out team fought there, and that completely turned the game around. They lost their mid tower as a result. They got completely team wiped. They blew away their entire advantage. That allowed Moon to just continue to scale into this game, who played fantastically, by the way.
Oh, he certainly did. Moon has done so much work for Mineski, as has the newcomer Ajit. 2 of them, those 2 cores, making Mineski look like a better and better team every single game they go into it. Mineski will be moving on. Unfortunately, we're going to say goodbye to Chaos Esports Club here. Mineski, again, just getting better and better. How far can this team go? For that, we're going to tune to the panel.
Yes, indeedy. Thank you very much, Cap and Blitz, with the commentary there on series number 2. A successful series as far as Mineski are concerned. Really building some momentum now after a shocking group stage that saw them go 6 out of 6 for defeats. They then bounce back to qualify, and here they are. They find themselves inside the top 6 after a great performance yet again in game number 2. Nahaz, Toby 1, and Fogged alongside me to break down that 3rd and final game. Alan, that's a, you know, I said this yesterday, when we watched Forward playing at 25 minutes and they were ahead against Mineski and they could have qualified, they could have been in exactly the same position right now, and we could be saying the same thing about Forward Gaming. Oh look, they're on a bit of a roll after a dodgy group stage and they've made top 6. Instead it's Mineski, and it's well deserved, isn't it?
Absolutely it is. It Pro Dota, especially at this level, is a game of inches, but I really think if you're Misery and you're sitting there right now, you're asking yourself, I just bowed out of this tournament with my best player 2 games in a row on Viper and Razor.
Yeah.
And on the other side, Moon was playing Monkey King and Ember Spirit, 2 heroes that were huge parts of the way that Mineski was going to win those games.
I want to hear from both of you in just a moment, but I'm hearing that Eri has found a man on stage. Let's go over there right now and hear from KP.
Thank you very much, Paul. I am here with KP taking down Chaos 2-1. Give it up for Mineski, ladies and gentlemen. KP, obviously, game 1 was just, that was a crazy match. And by the way you guys were competing and the way it ended, what was the conversations happening after that game?
I mean, we know we made a lot of mistakes, so we didn't really talk too much about it. We just kind of talked about the next game. Yeah.
That's it. Were you guys any at all disheartened by the loss for game 1? Was there anything? But because it could have been anyone's game at that point.
A little bit, but I mean, it's Dota, right? You just look forward, you know. Yeah, so not really, to be honest. Yeah.
Very, very nice. KP, one thing I want to ask as well, I mean, of course, in terms of how do you guys group together, not having a coach, and of course doing this on you, just the players, of course, gathering together. How do you feel that being? How is the difference, and how do you guys manage to do that?
Actually, we have a coach right now, but he's just not here with us.
Okay.
So he's like busy in Malaysia.
Okay.
Yeah, our coach is really nice. He's kind of like a out-of-game coach. Like he looks, I don't know, makes us disciplined with like sleeping, eating, things like that. He does a little bit of in-game stuff as well, so he's really helpful. But for this tournament, I think just kind of chill a bit, you know. I mean, maybe we don't have like as much, you know, discussion and stuff, but overall, I'm sure everyone knows their responsibilities, so we're fine, yeah.
Very cool. Lastly, how are you? How could you say Moon's performance have been over the 3 series? How do you feel he's doing so far?
Yeah, I think Moon's playing really great. Like I don't know what else to say. Like, that last game, he actually carried us a lot. His Ember, he made a lot of good calls. Yeah.
Very, very happy. Well, KP, congratulations on the win. Good luck moving forward in the tournament. Give it up for KP. Mineski moving forward. We're going to see them day 2.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Yes, congratulations to KP and his teammates for winning this particular series. Tough series as well after an awfully long game, the longest game we've had at ESL 1 Katowice in game 1. They've bounced back and won 2 straight in the next game. I wanted to hear from both Toby and Fogd on your thoughts. Generally, I mean, I know that KP picked it up in that interview. Moon played really well. RG played really well. They all played really well in the second and third games.
It was also the enabling of Moon, putting him on action heroes that can actually go and carry the game. Like, it's not this like, hey, let's play a passive hero, let's just slow this down with him. It's like, no, oh yeah, he can win on an Ember Spirit and really showcase his abilities